Have you been feeling something deep inside your chest? Like a gentle tug on your soul, as if someone is thinking about you? A name keeps circling your heart, and you don't even know why. You are not reaching out. You've stopped chasing. You've let go, yet somehow, the feeling hasn't let go of you. Maybe it's not just imagination. Maybe it's not just an old memory echoing in your mind. Maybe it's a sign. Because when Allah writes a soul into your story, even distance can't erase them. Even silence starts to speak. This message is for the one who's been patient. For the one who's grown quietly in the shadows of heartbreak. For the one who keeps wondering, why do I feel like they're about to come back? The answer might not be coming from them. It might be coming from Allah. Let's uncover 8 powerful spiritual signs that may mean your person is being guided to contact you, and this time, they'll make the first move. Herb 1 keycap: their heart is becoming restless without you. You might think they've forgotten you. That they've moved on. That life has made them happier without you. But silence doesn't always mean peace. And no words doesn't mean no feelings. In fact, their thoughts may be louder now than ever before. They get through the day working, talking, smiling, but something inside feels off. A feeling they can't shake, a name they keep remembering, a piece of themselves that feels missing. And that name is yours. It shows up in quiet moments. They'll pause mid-conversation. Lose focus at work. Scroll through old messages, heart racing, remembering moments they once overlooked. And when night falls, and the world goes quiet, it's not just thoughts, they feel you. They feel the void that your prayers, your presence, your love once filled. This isn't about missing comfort. It's deeper. It's the ache of the soul, the restlessness that only happens when a connection is spiritual and unfinished. Because when a soul is tied to another by Qadr, you can try to move on, but peace doesn't follow. It stays behind with the person you left. They may meet new people, laugh, and pretend to live fully. But inside, it feels incomplete, flat. Every smile is half-hearted. Every connection falls short. Why? Because Allah hasn't allowed their heart to settle. Not yet. Not until they turn back to what He may still be writing into their story. Remember, Allah is Al-Mukallibul Qulub, the turner of hearts. He places feelings and He removes them. And when He decides to turn their heart back toward you, it doesn't always happen slowly. Sometimes it happens suddenly, powerfully, without warning. One day, they'll just stop. Stop pretending they're fine. Stop running from what they feel. And they'll pick up their phone. The first message won't be dramatic or poetic. It might be shy, awkward, real. Something simple, like, "Hey, I've been thinking about you." But behind those few words, weeks, maybe months of Allah pulling at their heart. Not your chasing. Not your effort. Just pure, divine movement. So if you've been feeling forgotten, remember. Peace doesn't leave a soul without a reason. And if they are truly written for you, Allah will not let them rest until they find their way back. Herb 2 keycap: you've let go emotionally but grown spiritually. There was a time you couldn't go a single hour without thinking of them. Checking your phone. Reading old conversations. Hoping, almost begging, for a sign. You replayed every word in your mind, asking yourself, what did I do wrong? Why aren't they reaching out? Your heart felt so heavy. Not because you were weak, but because you loved deeply. You wanted answers. You wanted clarity. You wanted them to come back. But somewhere along the way, something inside you shifted. You didn't stop loving. But you stopped chasing. You stopped pouring your energy into someone who wasn't showing up for you. And that moment, that silent choice to let go, it wasn't a breakdown. It was a spiritual breakthrough. Because Allah began to teach you something sacred. Your peace was never in their hands. It was always with Him. You stopped begging for signs from them. Instead, your dua changed. Not Ya Allah, bring them back. But Ya Allah, let your will be done. And you meant it. You whispered from the heart. If they're not good for my dunya or akhira, take them away. But if they are, bring them back in a way that is clean, respectful, and real. That kind of surrender doesn't come overnight. It comes after heartbreak. After countless nights of crying into your pillow. After moments where you almost gave up on love entirely. But with every tear, you grew. You stopped clinging to what your heart wanted and started trusting what your soul needed. And in that quiet space between letting go emotionally and rising spiritually, you became someone new. Someone who can sit alone and still feel whole. Someone who no longer lowers their worth just to feel loved. Someone who whispers, if it's written for me, it will find me. And if it's not, I trust Allah's protection more than my desire. And here's the most beautiful part. When you finally reach that level of peace, that's often when the test turns into a gift. That's when the person who left starts to feel something shift inside their own heart. Because your silence isn't bitter. It's powerful. It whispers without words. I haven't forgotten you, but I've remembered myself. And that energy, that glow from within you, it's what pulls them back. Not because you chased. Not because you begged. But because Allah guided their heart back to someone who had finally found their worth. So if you feel calmer now, if you no longer need them the way you once did, if your duas have turned from desperation to acceptance, know this. You haven't lost them. You've simply outgrown the version of yourself that needed them to feel whole. And if they return, it won't be to the old you. It will be to the new you, the one Allah has elevated through patience, pain, and prayer. And if they don't return, you still win. Because your strength isn't tied to a person anymore. It's tied to your Creator. Herb 3 key cap. You are seeing their name or face repeatedly in dreams, signs, moments. You are not looking for them anymore. You are not scrolling through old photos. You are not replaying memories on purpose. And yet, somehow, they keep showing up. Not in real life, but in your dreams, in conversations, in unexpected reminders. You hear their name in a video. A stranger says something that feels painfully familiar. You see someone who looks like them from behind, and your heart skips a beat. At night, they visit your dreams. Not as a fantasy, but as a presence. Looking at you, speaking to you, reaching out. And you wake up asking yourself, why do I keep seeing them? These moments don't always mean they're coming back into your life. But they aren't meaningless either. In Islam, signs matter. Dreams matter. Reflections matter. Sometimes, Allah allows the soul to glimpse what the heart is too afraid to see. He places people in your dreams as a test, a reminder, or a gentle preparation. The signs you notice, they are like soft whispers saying, "Don't lose hope. Something is shifting." It may not be the exact person you once knew. It could be a better version of them, someone Allah is still shaping. Or it may be a signal that your story isn't finished yet. Because in the unseen world, Allah's Qadr moves quietly. You don't get loud announcements. You get subtle repetitions, a face, a name, a memory. Just enough to awaken your soul, without dragging your heart back into desperation. Sometimes, these signs remind you to purify your intention. Other times, they prepare you because something is coming. And when signs repeat, it often means one of two things. Sparkles, something is drawing near. Sparkles, or your soul is being told, stay ready. So don't dismiss what you feel as coincidence. But also don't rush to overthink it. Instead, pause. Reflect. Say from the heart, Ya Allah, if this is from you, guide me. If this is from myself, purify me. And if this is from Shaitan, protect me. And notice this. If these signs come with a sense of calm, not anxiety, it may be Allah's way of saying, your Qadr is close. Stay patient. And maybe, just maybe, they are seeing you in their dreams too. Maybe Allah is already softening their heart in the unseen world first. Because everything written starts spiritually. And when Allah says be, it appears in your life, beautifully and in His perfect timing. Herb 4 keycap, their guilt is turning into responsibility. At first, it looked so easy for them to walk away. No explanation. No closure. Just silence. And for a while, that silence hurt you more than words ever could. You lay awake at night, whispering to yourself, maybe they really didn't care. Maybe I never mattered at all. But here's what you couldn't see back then. Guilt doesn't always arrive right away. Sometimes Allah delays it until it hurts enough to wake the soul. At first, they distracted themselves. New people, new habits, loud laughter masking quiet emptiness. But late at night, when the world quieted, something began to whisper to their heart. They remembered. They remembered the way you loved without asking for anything back. The way you forgave them before they even said sorry. The way you made dua for them, silently, gently, sincerely. They remembered your patience in conversations they barely paid attention to. Your respect for boundaries. Your effort to understand them, even when they couldn't explain themselves. And then came the part that hurts most. They didn't just remember you. They remembered who they were when they hurt you. And that memory carries weight. It feels uncomfortable. It feels heavy. It's the kind of guilt that pushes you to see yourself clearly, maybe for the first time. This isn't just regret. This is spiritual pressure. Because guilt, when it comes from Allah, doesn't end at sadness. It becomes tawbah, real repentance. It becomes accountability instead of excuses. And this is when everything starts to shift inside them. They are no longer defending what they did. They are no longer telling themselves, it wasn't that bad. They are starting to whisper, I was wrong. I mishandled someone Allah gifted to me. That realization turns guilt into responsibility. It pushes them to think, I can't undo the past. But maybe I can fix it. Maybe I can show them now, not through words alone, but through action, respect, sincerity. When Allah guides a soul to this point, It's no longer about saving face. It's about cleansing the heart. They might hesitate. They might write and delete messages over and over. But eventually, when the guilt becomes too heavy, when Allah turns restlessness into a yearning for redemption, they'll come forward. Not just to say, I miss you, but to say, I've realized what I did. And I'm not here just to feel better. I'm here to do better. That's what true responsibility looks like. Not a rushed apology. Not desperate begging. But steady, quiet action, the kind that shows Allah has truly worked on their heart. And if they do return, it won't be for comfort. It will be for correction, for growth, for sincerity. So if you are still wondering whether they're careless, they may not be anymore. They may be in that sacred stage where guilt is transforming them from someone who ran to someone ready to repair what they broke. This transformation is never instant. But when it's real, you'll feel it. Because Allah doesn't just bring people back into your life. He brings them back differently, with humility, with understanding, with responsibility. Herb 5 Keycap: you've forgiven them without contact. They never apologized. They never explained. They just disappeared. And you were left alone with the pieces. All the whys, the what-ifs, and wounds you never asked for. For a while, you waited. Waited for a message. Waited for closure. Waited for something, anything, that could make the pain make sense. But that moment never came. And in the silence, that long, aching silence, something inside you began to shift. At first, you cried. You wrestled with the pain. You asked Allah why they walked away so easily, while you stayed stuck with everything they left behind. But slowly, the pain didn't sting the same. The need for answers faded. The attachment softened. And in its place, something beautiful grew: forgiveness. Not because they deserved it. Not because they apologized. But because you were tired of carrying pain that didn't belong to you anymore. Forgiveness isn't saying what they did was okay. It isn't erasing the past. It's choosing peace over poison. It's choosing to let go, not for them, but for your soul. For your closeness to Allah. Because holding on to anger and resentment builds walls between you and your Lord. And when you finally let go, Allah replaces heaviness with healing. You started to feel lighter. Your smile came back not because life was perfect, but because you had surrendered it to Allah. And in sujood, you whispered, Ya Allah, I let go. I forgive them. Not because they asked, but because I want you to forgive me too. And that forgiveness born in silence, sincerity, and secret dua, that's the most powerful kind. The kind no one sees, but Allah does. That moment was your turning point. Because now, you don't need revenge. You don't need a final conversation. You don't need them to feel your pain. All you want is peace. And when your heart reaches that level, that quiet grace, that's when Allah opens new doors. Sparkles doors of calm. Sparkles doors of growth. Sparkles and sometimes even doors for that person to return. But if they do come back, it won't be into the same old story. It'll be into something better. Something written with new intention, new respect, new sincerity. And if they don't come back, that's okay too. Because you've already won. You chose grace over grudges. Growth over ego. You proved that your healing doesn't need their apology, only Allah's permission. So if you've ever forgiven someone without hearing "I'm sorry," know this. That's not weakness. That's spiritual strength. That's proof Allah has elevated your heart. And if that person ever returns, they won't be meeting the same version of you. They'll be meeting someone who doesn't need closure anymore. Because you became the closure. Herb 6 Keycap. You are calm, but still feel something is coming. You are not obsessed anymore. You are not overthinking every silence. You are not anxiously waiting for a message or replaying the past like a movie stuck on repeat. You are calm now. And not the fake calm where you smile on the outside but break inside. This is different. This is real. You are not just trying to get over it. You've outgrown the need to control it. Yet, even in this stillness, you feel something. It's not panic. It's not desperation. It's a quiet knowing. Like something is approaching. Something is shifting in the unseen. And you know you are not making it up. Because you are actually more detached than ever. But somehow, your heart is more aware. And that awareness, that's not delusion. That's spiritual intuition. Because when a heart has been purified through pain, patience, and prayer, Allah sometimes gives you a gentle alert. Get ready. Something is near. It might rise in your chest during prayer. Or fall over you like a calm breeze as you are driving, walking, or sitting quietly. And your soul whispers, "They are coming." Something is about to change. The most beautiful part. You are no longer trying to force it. You are not clinging to signs. You are just open. And that openness, that quiet trust, that's what aligns your heart with Allah's timing. Because now, you are not just waiting for a person. You are waiting for what's written. You've learned that if it's truly from Allah, it won't come by force, but by flow. This is what true tawakkul looks like. It's not sitting around wishing. It's living fully, building, healing, creating, connecting to Allah, while trusting what's coming. And still, deep in your chest, you feel that sacred pull. Something is on its way to me. That feeling isn't a distraction. It's preparation. It could be that the one you once loved is being guided back. Or someone completely new, someone better, someone your soul will recognize without doubt. Or maybe, Allah is about to send you a moment that changes everything, not just in love, but in life. The truth is, when your heart is clean and your soul is steady, you begin to sense what others can't see. So don't ignore that inner peace. It's not empty. It's full of promise. And the calmness you feel right now, it might be the stillness right before arrival. The quiet pause before Allah writes the next chapter. Herb 7 Keycap. They've started feeling your absence, not just your presence. In the beginning, they may not have noticed your absence at all. They were distracted, busy, entertained, surrounded by noise, by people, by moments that felt free. For a while, that freedom felt light. Free from responsibility. Free from emotional depth. Free from the quiet effort that real love requires. But eventually, that freedom began to feel empty. At first, they only missed your presence in small, quiet ways. Your name lighting up their phone. Your comforting words on a hard day. The softness of your voice. The way you truly saw them, even when the world made them feel invisible. But now it's different. They don't just miss what you did for them. They feel something deeper. They feel the weight of your absence. Because real connections don't simply vanish when silence begins. They echo. They leave gentle traces in the soul that no one else can reach. They might meet new people. They might laugh, post, smile, even fall into new habits. But slowly, quietly, they start to notice something sacred. No one feels like you. No one replaces the ease. No one matches the peace. And that's when the real reflection begins. Not just I miss how they made me feel, but who was I when they were around? They remember how your presence inspired them to grow. How you were patient with their flaws. How you never competed with their ego, you spoke to their soul. How you prayed for them silently, sincerely, not just loved them on the surface. And now that you are gone, it isn't just the loss of a person they feel. It's the loss of a version of themselves that only existed around your love. Your absence isn't empty space. It's silence that carries lessons. They begin to realize. You didn't just occupy their life. You elevated it. You didn't just show up. You showed them what real sincerity looks like in a world obsessed with performance. And now, the quiet hurts them more than the noise ever did. Not because they are lonely, but because your presence had purpose. It was intentional, pure, gentle. Something they never protected until it was gone. That realization changes people. It softens pride. It humbles the soul. It makes them look inward. And for some, that's when the first message finally comes. Not out of boredom. Not out of routine. But out of recognition. I didn't value what Allah sent me. But I see it now. And even if they never say a word, even if they never come back, their soul still knows. They carry the echo of your absence like a mirror, showing them not just what they lost, but what they failed to cherish. And you don't need to say a single word to prove your worth. Because your silence speaks louder than any message ever could. It gently declares, I was a gift. And even if you forgot, you'll feel it in my absence. Herb 8 Keycap. The first move will reflect what Allah taught you in silence. This wasn't just time apart. It wasn't an empty pause. This was time divinely written. Time for healing. Time for growth. Time for Allah to gently reshape you into who you were always meant to become. Because you didn't just wait in the silence. You learned in it. You wept in sujood. You asked questions you were once too afraid to face. You sat in pain and turned it into prayer. What the world called rejection, Allah turned into revelation. You stopped defining yourself by who left. You started defining yourself by who you turned to. A.R. Rahman, Al-Wali, Al-Jabbar, the most merciful, the protecting friend, the restorer of the broken heart. And now, if the person comes back, their first move won't be met by the old you. It'll be met by the you that Allah has strengthened in silence. The first message they send, it won't just reach your phone. It'll meet a heart that no longer needs them to feel whole because it already feels full with faith. They might say, I've been thinking about you. Or, I realize now what I lost. But you'll see beyond words. You'll look for sincerity, for growth, for real intention. Because this time, you are not choosing from loneliness. You are choosing from alignment with Allah. And if it's written, the reunion won't be rushed. It will be guided. And if it's not written, you'll still have what silence gave you. Sparkles peace. Sparkles strength. Sparkles closeness to your Creator. Because the greatest lesson silence taught you is this. Real love never begins with chasing. It begins with surrender, trusting Allah to bring what's meant for you in its perfect time. In that silence, you weren't just waiting for someone to come back. You were being prepared to receive something better. Even if it's the same person, they won't be meeting the same you. Because in that quiet, unseen space, you became more aware, more faithful, more dignified, more at peace. And if they come back, if Allah writes for them to message you, to call, to walk back into your life, their first move will reflect that shift. It won't be rushed. It won't be confused. It won't be half-hearted. Because Allah doesn't bring someone back into your life just to repeat the same test. If their heart has been worked on the way yours has, they'll return with clarity, not confusion. With responsibility, not just regret. With real intention, not impulse. Their words will sound different. Their presence will feel different. Why? Because this time, it won't just be a reunion. It will be a reflection. A reflection of the tears you shed when no one saw. The patience you showed when your heart was breaking. The duas you whispered when the world told you to move on. The strength you built when you finally said, Ya Allah, you are enough for me. All of that effort, all of that spiritual work. It didn't go unnoticed. And if they return, they will meet the version of you that Allah refined in silence. So don't fear the silence. It's not emptiness. It's a classroom. It's where Allah trains your soul to stop chasing people and start waiting with dignity. Because when Allah allows someone to make the first move toward you, it won't be because you pushed. It won't be because you begged. It will be because you were finally ready. Ready to receive it with boundaries, with wisdom, with peace, and with complete trust in Allah, not in people. Because what's written for you in Qadr will never require you to lose your self-respect to hold on to it. You didn't imagine the connection. You didn't dream the pull. And you definitely didn't go through this season of silence for no reason. What felt like a delay may have been divine alignment. While you were healing, Allah was preparing. While you were letting go, Allah was writing something better. And while you sat in silence, wondering if they even remember you, their heart may have already started turning back, not by chance, but by Allah's will. So when they finally reach out, when they make the first move, it won't be random. It will be a response to everything Allah has been teaching both of you behind the scenes. And if they never return, you still win. Because you found your worth, your peace, and your closeness to the one who never left Allah. So hold your head high. Not because someone is coming, but because you are becoming. Sparkles, if this message touched your heart, comment below. Ya Allah, I trust your timing more than my feelings. Don't scroll away in silence. Like it. Share it. Let someone else know they're not waiting alone. Because sometimes, the sign they've been begging Allah for is hidden inside the very video you just watched. Herb Sparkles.